fair hearing, and it's going to be resolved, and we're going to get on down the road. So there's two sides of the question, or we wouldn't be in the process we're in right now.
And a couple of other things to point out. First of all, that hearing will be conducted tomorrow. The head judge is Bill Alsup, former driver. Also on the board, Roger Ward and Bobby Hillen. Now, in addition to hearing the protest lodged by Johnny Rutherford and his crew, they will also be hearing a protest lodged by Pat Patrick and the Emerson Fittipaldi crew. That involves Fittipaldi's alleged passing of the pace car under yellow at Pocono. So 2 hearings tomorrow in the Detroit area. And we would also like to admit when we do something wrong, and that is we feel we may have added to the confusion at Sanair by calling the wrong winner. And we apologize for that if we did mislead anyone. Well, there is Al Unser Sr., who's had a tough afternoon. You can see, if you look very closely between the rear wheels, you can see the jack that raises the car up off of the ground. If it isn't dragging the racetrack, it's very close. Al Unser is shown in 14th position at this point, 2 laps down. We are under yellow. The cleanup has been completed. We should be going green soon, and we'll resume with our action in a moment.
This fall, millions of people will change their antifreeze, but not their radiator hoses. It's an easy mistake to make because hoses can look good outside even when they're wearing out inside. So put in Quality Gates hoses the next time you change antifreeze. Because if your hoses go, your car won't.
Still under the caution conditions here at Michigan International Speedway when this gentleman, Scott Brayton, crashed hard in the turn 3 and 4 area. Scotty, actually what happened?
Well, tell you the truth, Jack, I don't really know. We came in and got fuel, and we hadn't been running too bad. I had some handling problems we were pushing, so I made some changes to the car that were going to help it, and I went out and went into 3, and when I turned in at the apex, it just went, you know, for the wall, and so undoubtedly something happened.
And the right side is just all tore up. You really took a wallop up there. How about you physically?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine, and it's just unfortunate. It's been a tough couple weeks here, and I can't believe it, but you know, I just tried to keep it off the wall, and it just went at it, and so I guess we're lucky. You know, I'm fine and everything like that, and I'll be back and running strong again.
How tough is it on a team like yourself when you crashed during a practice session 2 weeks ago at Indianapolis, then you crashed the race car here today? That's got to put a heavy financial and mental burden on someone like Brayton.
Well, it's more of a mental burden than anything, and I can quickly overcome that because both of my accidents have been related to manufacturing problems that, you know, I don't know what happened here, but obviously, you know, I mean, nobody hits going into 3, and it was unfortunate whatever happened. If it, I don't know, but I'll be back and I'm ready.
Well, that's the word from Scott Brayton. Let us, while we have you, update you on the condition of Al Unser's car. We've got the green flag coming out, though. We'll talk about that later.
All right, we do go back to racing with Bobby Rahal, the leader. We are beginning lap number 83 here. 82 laps have been completed, and Rahal is the leader. The average speed of the race, of course, has dropped off considerably because of the yellow. And it looks like we're not going to have the fastest IndyCar race in history. The average speed has dropped to 174 miles an hour. Bobby Rahal moving to the inside now, down the backstretch and passing one of the Machinist Union cars in turn number 3.
Well, Rick Mears is now running in second, Ed Pym in third, and Kevin Cogan is in 4th position, but he had to make an extra stop during that yellow flag and is being shown by kart timing and scoring as 1 lap down. Kind of anticipated the possibility of a charge from Kevin, but with 1 lap in arrears with less than 15 laps to go now, Kevin's chances for victory are completely gone, but I don't know how exactly that happened or why Kevin had to come in for that extra pit stop, but it has cost him dearly.
Only three cars on the lead lap, Mears and Kim behind Bobby Rahal. Don Whittington is sneaking up on Kevin Kogan, and this is the race for fourth position now. Kogan in the blue and yellow car, and Whittington in the blue and red car, battling for fourth spot here. Kevin Kogan looked so strong earlier in this race before he had to come in for a stop and was penalized for moving too high on the racetrack, coming onto the track. And Whittington now moves to the inside in turn number 1. Whittington moves into fourth place.
Don Whittington has had a great weekend. He's been fast from the time he took this car off the trailer. He is one of the candidates for this ride for next year. He's been in consultation with Pat Patrick. As you know, they've experimented with Bruno Giacomelli, with Sammy Swindell out of the sprint car ranks. And, of course, Whittington has been in this car a couple of times this year and shown some real speed. Whittington is a candidate. He says he's pretty sure he's got the ride, but only time will tell. Certainly, he's one of the front runners, and if his performance today is any indication, he may be the front runner.
Whittington has finished in one IndyCar race so far this year. He was 24th at the Indianapolis 500-mile race. Now Kevin Kogan begins to move around Pete Halsmer over there on the back stretch, but you can see the interval that Whittington has put between himself and that car for the position.
Whittington has really taken off away from Kevin Kogan. There we go back up front and look at Bobby Rahal. I would suggest that he is running a controlled race, Bob. He definitely showed everybody that he can go significantly faster than this earlier in the race. He's run a conservative race. He stayed out of trouble. He's taken his time moving through lap traffic, and he's run, I believe, a very heady race.
Well, the weather may be becoming a factor here at Michigan. When we started this race, we had hazy, but at least sunshine. But in the last few laps, the clouds have moved in, and as a matter of fact, when we look toward the west and the southwest, the clouds are beginning to look rather ominous. And we have a crash up in turn number 3. That is Whittington. Whittington, who had passed Kevin Kogan just 2 laps ago and was pulling away, loses control in turn number 3 and bangs the wall.
Boy, tough break, not only for Whittington, but also for Pat Patrick. So many times in the last 2 or 3 years as Don tosses out the steering wheel and extricate himself. Don struggling to get out, of course, telling the safety crew members, I'm okay, I can walk away out of this thing. Limping, no, not limping a little bit, jogging over to the inside, and Don Whittington going down to the infield area. But what a big disappointment for that team. They've had so many incidents like this in the last couple of years where their machinery has gone home, wadded up in the back of the truck. But Don Whittington certainly did have a rapid weekend. From
looking at the car, it would appear as if Whittington's impact with the wall over in turn 3 wasn't as severe as it was with Scott Brayton. Both wheels are still on Whittington's car. They're on the right side, but it is considerably damaged. And Don Whittington has gotten out of the car. He has jogged to a safe position. He is okay. But we're under our second yellow of this race. And now there are just about 10 more laps to go. Back in just a moment at Michigan.
It's here, 7.5 annual percentage rate financing on the Plymouth Reliant K. 7.5 on the Plymouth Horizon, 7.5 on the Plymouth Turismo, 7.5 on the Chrysler Laser, 7.5 on the Chrysler Fifth Avenue, and 7.5 on the all-new Chrysler LeBaron GTS. Or get from $400 to $1,500 cash back. The choice is yours. You may never get a better deal on a new 85 Chrysler or Plymouth. So buy one at your Bay Area Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
The 85 closeout is now at Century Chrysler Plymouth with rebates up to $1,500 or 7.5% APR financing and sale prices you waited for all year. Closeout prices, the entire inventory, the hot-selling Voyagers, LeBarons, Lasers, New Yorkers, even the Fifth Avenues at going, gone prices. Buy a new 85 Laser for only $88.88. That's right, $88.88. And that's a good deal. Plus 7.5% financing or rebates up to $1,500. Now at Century Chrysler Plymouth, Stevens Creek at Kiley and San Jose.
Back at Michigan, and without question, one of the most outstanding performances of this race has been turned in by Ed Pym. He is in third position and still on the lead lap.
Yeah, they took some chances this weekend. They changed the front and the rear suspension. This is an entirely different race car from what they had here in July. They've gone to softer springs with a little bit less rear wing, and it has really worked out for Ed Pym, Dan Gurney, and company. Once again, Don Whittington is okay. The second of our 2 crashers, both of them taking place here in turns 3 and 4 this afternoon. Here is Bob now with our usual mid-race report on our ESPN broadcast.
This is the STP Inside Track Report, brought to you by the STP Corporation. On the world's racetracks and on the world's roads, depend on STP, your car care company. The CART B Series has been on and off the past year. It was talked about a year ago at this time, but it never came to be because of lack of interest. Well, there is an effort underway to revitalize and rejuvenate the CART B Series for 1986. With a further look at that, here is Jack Arute.
Bob, things seem to be coming together quite nicely for 1986 and the B Series. It'll be called the American Racing Series and will involve cars that are upgrades of the Formula 3000 out of March Engineering. Robin Hurd is one of the principals in the proposal that seems to have the inside track at CART. They'll be rented for 8 races. The engines will be stock American, normally aspirated V6 motors with about 400 horsepower. Now, the other principal in this will be Ralph Sanchez, who is the proprietor and promoter of the Tamiami race down in Miami. We'll stay on top of this story as it unfolds and have more for you in later editions of Inside Track.
A couple of interesting tie-ins between CART and Formula One here this weekend at Michigan. First of all, American Eddie Cheever, who has been in Formula One the past few years, is here shopping around for an IndyCar ride for 1986, possibly for later this year. And Bobby Rahal has been testing in Europe and could possibly be considered as the driver of a Ferrari effort in CART next year. We talk with both of those drivers.
Eddie, is there a better than average chance that you will come over here to race next year?
Definitely a better than average chance. I gamble on Alfa Romeo. I stayed 2 years with them, and we haven't really had that much success that I was looking for. Now I'm going to consider what I want to do next year. There's a good possibility I might come here and race.
Would you like to run a Ferrari next year?
I'd like to run a Ferrari, period.
The cost of IndyCar racing continues to escalate. Recently, Andy Kennepinsky, the team manager for the Machinist Union team, wrote to CART board chairman John Frasco concerning this matter. What is Frasco's response?
I don't know if there's a solution to that points raised in there, because this sport is not an inexpensive sport, and I don't see anything on the horizon that means that it's going to get any more inexpensive than it is. But we have taken it under advisement. We're going to meet with the people involved, and in fact, we're having a meeting here tomorrow. So I hope that we can get it cleared up.
The Michigan 500 IndyCar race was postponed here at Michigan International Speedway earlier this year because of a problem the drivers were having with radial tires. We talked with Goodyear's director of racing, Leo Mell, concerning the future of radial tires and IndyCar racing.
Well, because of that incident, we didn't get to run the Pocono 500 on radials, and it shortened the time we have to develop a tire for next year's Indy 500. The chances are very slim that we'll run a radial next year at Indy. We have to develop a laboratory test, which we were doing very well on, where we can fail the tire, have an air loss, simulate a puncture, and develop a tire that'll give the driver a warning. We're doing very well on that project, but, you know, with the weather changing from now, there's not much good weather left till next spring.
A real tough job, Bob, and there are a lot of things going on, but I think the most important thing is that there's a lot of dialogue also taking place. And I'd like to make one comment about the board that has been picked for the 2 disputes that are going to be heard this week. I think it was very fair. We got Bobby Hillin, Roger Ward, and Bill Alsop, 3 people who came from different backgrounds in automobile racing, representing different generations, and I think it's a real solid choice.
Well, the cleanup is still going on out in the turn number 3. We've only got 8 laps to go, and the blower that removes the dust and the dirt from the racetrack is still on the track. You can see it there on the high side, blowing the dust and dirt off of the track that was put there by Don Whittington's accident. So it's going to be a couple of more laps before we go green. The average speed of this race has been reduced to 167.28 because of the 2 yellows involving Scott Brayton and Don Whittington. We'll be right back with more from Michigan.
cars rolling down that high bank track. Better keep your eye on number 5, cause he ain't looking back. That's Levi Garrett coming through. Taste that flavor coming through for you. Time after time, the quality comes through. That's why Levi Garrett is the brand I'm proud to choose. Levi Garrett.
There's been an important change in STP to better protect your engine. It's a new and improved formula. Now, here in your oil ways, STP fights to keep dirt and sludge from building up. This is a new STP, giving you extra protection from wear. Get new improved STP oil treatment.
STP is the racer's edge.
The green flag has just come out. The cars go into corner number 1, and we are back to racing. 93 laps have been completed. We have less than 7 to go now, and Bobby Rahal looks like he could win his second race of 1985. His advantage over Rick Mears is about 4 seconds, and there is Rick, the yellow car. And look at Danny and Gaius also moved by Danny Sullivan. 3 abreast racing here in turn number 3. Rick Mears goes to the high side and passes both Bill Whittington and Danny and Gaius now. And Gaius has passed Danny Sullivan for position. That moves Danny Sullivan back to 7th and Gaius up to 6th.
Boy, great dicing going on. It looks like almost like the start of the race. Rick Mears in that bright yellow car was way down at the bottom of the racetrack trying to move up on Rahal. Remember, he runs in 2nd position, but Rahal is about a straightaway ahead of him and seemingly no chance to catch him with 96 laps completed.
And the 3rd car on the lead lap is Ed Pim in number 98. 4th a lap down is Kevin Cogan. In 5th position is Tom Stevens. 6th is Jose Legarza. 7th is Danny and Gaius, and in 8th spot is Danny Sullivan.
In case you were wondering, I suppose many of you saw the Sanair finish. It was decided in the drivers' meeting today that this race would not end like last week's race at Sanair. Before going green, there would be at least 1 full lap of yellow in case there's a yellow near the end of this race. So we would not have a repeat finish like we had in Canada last race.
Bobby Rahal is the leader, but Danny and Gaius in that black number 25 car in the middle of the screen. He is running by himself on the low side of the racetrack, and Gaius, of course, the victim of a very tough accident during the Michigan 500. That car out of control, flipping and rolling down the backstretch, but Danny and Gaius not injured. You saw it in the very opening portion of our broadcast today. Danny and Gaius in the underscope, racer number 25.
We also had a quick shot of Steve Chassie, who's also been able to stay out there all race long. And Gaius running all by himself right now, having a good day. Danny is used to being faster. You know, he's won a race here in MIS. This racetrack with its high speed is the kind of place that Danny and Gaius really likes to get his teeth into. So even though Gaius is not going to win this one, he's got to feel like today has been somewhat of a success for him.
This is only Danny and Gaius' 4th race of 1985. He was 17th at the Indianapolis 500, finished 20th here at Michigan earlier, and was 22nd at Pocono. There's the leader, Bobby Rahal, still setting the pace here with about a second advantage on Rick Mears, who is coming up quickly and will undoubtedly try to challenge Bobby Rahal now as we enter lap number 99. 1 lap to go. The white flag has been displayed, and Mears, although he is closing in on Rahal, I don't think is going to have enough momentum build up to take the lead. Bobby Rahal is on the last lap of this 100-lapper here at Michigan. Now midway down the backstretch. Bobby Rahal just a few car lengths actually ahead of Rick Mears, but something is going to have to go wrong with Rahal's car if he loses this race. They come out of corner number 4. There is Rick Mears right behind him. Here they come through the tri-oval. The checkered flag is waved. Bobby Rahal wins. Rick Mears is second, just a few car lengths behind.
I think it was just a tease. I don't know about you, Bob, but I think Rahal has had this race in his control since about the halfway point. A most intelligent race that has been run, I would suggest. Rick Mears pulls up alongside and salutes the winner, Bobby Rahal. He's had some close calls in recent weeks. Of course, he won at Mid-Ohio. He was involved in that unfortunate circumstances at Sanair when Jacques Villeneuve drove into the back of him. But Bobby Rahal today really turned in a just 1,000% performance from beginning to end.
second win of the year. His other victory was before the ESPN cameras at Mid-Ohio just a few weeks ago. But now Rahal visits victory lane again here at Michigan. Second spot, Mears, and our hats off to a great performance by Ed Pym, who turned in his best performance ever in IndyCar racing this year with a third-place finish. His previous best this year was a fifth during the Michigan 500 on this very racetrack. So Bobby Rahal will be pulling into victory lane, and Jack Arute will be visiting with him when we return to Michigan International Speedway.
To help get your car ready for fall, quality Pennzoil motor oil in this easy pour plastic bottle is on sale now. No coupons, no rebates, just real savings on all the Pennzoil you can get your hands on. So stock up now on that great Pennzoil protection. Quality Pennzoil in this handy plastic bottle and on sale. Now that's a real deal.
Thursday, join the Cowboy Carnival on ESPN. We'll come out of the chute with the 89th annual Cheyenne Rodeo, the biggest event of its kind in the world. Then, a blood and guts battle between man and beast. All eyes are on Superstars bull riding. Right after rodeo, Thursday.
Bobby Rahal has climbed out of the car and is ready now to talk with us about his victory in the Detroit News 200. Here's Jack Arute.
Well, I'm a little bit blocked out here by Steve Horn, the crew chief. They're all getting the congratulations. Bobby, a terrific ride. Looked to be maybe just a little uneventful, but still it was a good run.
Well, I was having fun. I was hoping that I knew if there was another yellow, Rick was going to be tough. And unfortunately for me, at that point, there was another yellow, and he caught up that whole lap we had on him. So, but it was a good finish, and I was trying my hardest at the end, and I'm sure he was too.
You know, earlier in the week, I said, do you think maybe Michigan owes you one? Now that you've got one under your belt, how does it feel?
Well, you know, we won this race in our first year in IndyCar race in '82, and you know, today with so few yellows, I thought the car was running beautifully, the Bud car, and I'm just thrilled. You know, this makes up for July by far.
Well, it's 2 for Bobby Rahal this year, Mid-Ohio and now Michigan. He likes the Midwest. Back up to the tower.
All right, and our winner's circle interview has been brought to you by Goodyear. Goodyear tires and Goodyear service for more good years in your car. Well, as we take this break, and we'll be right back, we'll have some final comments about this race that was just completed here this afternoon. Once again, the winner of the event was Bobby Rahal. We'll be right back.
Indianapolis, where the gladiators of the automotive world do battle, where one competitor has dominated the Indy 500. It is a tire born of advanced design and innovative technology, the only tire to qualify. For the past 10 years, the only tire on every car in the Indy 500.
For everyone working to keep the customer satisfied.
This Bud's for you. Nobody else can do the job the way you do. So here's to you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do, this Bud's for you.
Back at Michigan, Bobby Rahal the winner. Larry, a couple of accidents. Scott Brayton and Don Whittington into the wall, but no injuries, and it was a rather safe race.
Bob, the interesting thing is 5th and 6th in the point standings are the people who rack up points. The points remain Junior on top, Senior moves in the 2nd, Mario's 3rd, Fittipaldi is 4th, Sullivan picks up a few, Rahal picks up a bunch, picking up 22 points. He's now only 20 behind Al Unser Jr. The points battle continues to heat up.
All right, let's review the top 10 finishers in the race. The winner, of course, was Bobby Rahal. Finishing in 2nd spot was Rick Mears, then Ed Pym, Kevin Kogan 4th, and Tom Sneva was 5th. In 6th position, Jose Legarza. 7th was Danny Ngayes. 8th was Danny Sullivan. 9th was Johnny Rutherford. And 10th was Pancho Carter. Average speed 163.6. The race speed, the green speed, average was 196.5. The Detroit News 200 has been brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by the STP Corporation. On the world's racetracks and on the world's roads, depend on STP, your car care company. And by Pennzoil Motor Oil. Quality protection. Ask for it. Next week, we'll be at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina Speedway for the Holly Forms 400. And join us for Speed Week 7:30 Thursday night. For Jack Arute and Larry Nuber,
Plus,